Welcome to the RIOT Podcast. It's a Thursday.
Happy Thursday, everybody. Almost to the end of the week of our podcast.
Yeah, so today, you know what, it's a space day in the show today. Like we're talking space because there's a lot of space news that's happening. We also dig into yesterday's Nintendo Direct.
That actually is exciting, and it's worth watching the Nintendo Direct video they send out with it to kind of see all the new stuff because they do a good job on that.
We've also got Batman is being taken out by COVID again. We talk about life expectancy going down. And here's what's funny is like, if you look at the order of the podcast, we talk about the life expectancy going down in the United States this year. And then a little bit after that, we talk about me getting really into frozen food. And then we talk about Nikki drinking Bang energy coffee.
Are you saying is one or two of those things leading to the life expectancy even? Like, you're lucky if it's only a year less. It's probably going to be more.
I'm saying that not all of the connections are drawn in the moment, but I'm seeing it.
Well,
I'm seeing it.
And an update for the Bang protein coffee drink. It is, it's still there. Like, I've only had a few sips of it. I can't drink the rest of it. It's too much.
I'm going to have to try it.
I'll bring a couple extra cans so we don't drink after each other, and then you can try it next time.
Oh, I don't even think we're allowed to be in the same room together. Huh?
Not anymore. Never, ever.
So let's see. We also run down some of the stuff that's going to be streaming this weekend that's new.
Yep.
And we talk, did I say emojis? We're talking emojis.
Apple is releasing their new set, and so they talk about some of the upcoming ones for the next release. I think it's like 217 new ones. So that'll be before March starts. Those will come out.
All right. Well, that's all I got, Nikki. You got anything?
That's it. Enjoy the podcast today. As always, thank you so much for taking time and letting us be a part of your day. Hopefully, we can entertain you for a little bit today with our podcast. Text and say hello, 8772 RadioU or RadioU RIOT on Facebook.
And hey, everybody, if you could not forget that tomorrow's Nikki's birthday.
Tomorrow is my birthday. We'll be ready.
Bye.
Bye. Have a good day.
The riot isn't all bad, but this is the worst of the riot. RadioU.
Oh my gosh, such an exciting day today. It's Mars Day, Nikki.
It's Mars Day.
And,
Yay.
I mean, I want you to think about it. It's your birthday eve and Mars Day. So what a gift. It is going to be. You're going to wake up tomorrow and Perseverance is going to be on Mars. Wow.
And
right?
Krispy Kreme has a Mars donut today. What else is today? Like, you got a lot of stuff going on in case you're a little sad. Maybe the fact that you have Thursday and then Friday. Today shouldn't be a bad day.
Oh, no. I mean, like I said, today, total gift. Total gift.
Yay. Aren't we lucky? Oh,
so
yay.
much wonderful stuff happening. So, I mean, if you find yourself like, I don't even know if I want to get out of bed today, remember that we're landing something on Mars today. Don't tell me there's nothing to get excited about.
I know yesterday when we were talking about, the Krispy Kreme donut that we were saying is a limited thing for today. I didn't catch like why they were having the Mars thing. And then I know a few people sent us a bit more information into what actually is going on today. But I didn't even read it. So I still don't know. I don't know what's going on today.
You know what, Nikki? That's why we're a team.
Yeah. Did you read it all? Like, is something on its way? Did something lift off? What happened?
I'll tell you what I'll do. In a few minutes, I'll explain it to you a little bit so you've got some context. But I just think about how great this is. If you don't care anything about what's happening on Mars, there's donuts.
Well, and now that got us interested in the whole thing today.
I mean, I feel like they covered all their bases because it's like, don't like space, you like donuts? Okay, that's everybody.
Well, is that everybody real? I think it's mostly just on the donut side. It's most people over there.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe it's, 8% space, 92% donut, but
we'll at least explain, or Obi will explain to us all the other stuff going on today, but happy Thursday.
What you're about to hear will live on the internet forever. Sorry, internet. The worst of the Riot podcast.
And today we kind of land on Mars. I mean, we aren't going to be there.
So that's why you'll hear Mars brought up a few times today in case you're like, what's going on? So we are landing there.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you talk about your favorite sports team in the Wii. That's, it's the royal we. It's where we all are. But the NASA Perseverance is supposed to land on Mars today at around 2:30 Eastern. Now, there's a lot of trepidation and terror over at NASA because they actually call it 7 minutes of terror because it's going to land and the Perseverance is completely responsible for landing itself.
Oh, so they can't do anything, so they have to wait until to figure out if it can actually do it?
It has 19 cameras and an onboard computer, and I'm sure a few other things, and that's exactly how it will control its own descent and land. And then, disperse.
So for the 7 minutes, like in the movies, to me, it seems like, is that when they lose contact with it? And they don't know until it goes back if it actually made it or if it didn't make it?
That's right. And there's a 10-minute delay for signals from the Perseverance to NASA. And so there will be a few minutes there where they have no idea if it made it or not. Man. All that work, all that effort and everything. And now you're like, well, I hope it makes it.
That would be like if you DoorDashed your Mars donuts from Krispy Kreme and you didn't know. It's that you're waiting for a dasher to pick it up and it's still being made by the place and you don't know where it's going to go. Or if someone who picks up your donuts is going to go do another run somewhere else and you're going to have to wait longer. So it's kind of like that.
Lost track?
Yeah.
You lost track of them on the app.
You lost track of your dasher. So it's almost similar to what we go through here on Earth with that.
You know what? I am sure if we talk to NASA, they'd say it's the exact same thing.
Well, that's a good way to explain it. Or, that fear of like, is he coming directly to my place or is he going to go somewhere else that's nearby? You lose contact with him.
You know what? I know. I think you nailed it. I think that the emotions and the turmoil are exactly the same.
The worry, the concern, it is just donuts, but still, will they ever get here? That window of terror.
You know what, Nikki? You've just explained space angst to the donut crowd. Like you are a next level communicator right now.
You're welcome. We all have. Well, maybe not if you've not DoorDashed or Uber Eats, but we all know that worry there.
Listening to the worst of the riot is the equivalent of standing in line at the BMV. Ugh. Worst of the riot. Radio U.
Tired of snow. Granted, not everybody, but there are, 99% of the people that live east of the Rockies that have had it. And they want to do something.
They want a way to get rid of all the snow.
Yeah. And this man, who his name is being withheld, he did not commit a crime, technically, but they're not sharing his name. He decided to do something about it, Nikki. He went out to his, is this his front lawn or his back lawn? I don't know. But he went outside and he was like, I ain't shoveling and I'm sick of this snow. So he grabbed his gas can and he began spreading it around on the snow and he lit his lawn on fire with the hope that,
it would melt the snow. He said he was trying to set a small fire to melt the snow and the ice. And I guess, are you not allowed to do that?
Well, that's a good question. Even though, you might be like, this is private property, whatever. I just know when I was a kid, if we were going to have a brush fire when I'd visit my family out in the country, like they would burn up whatever. Yeah. They always called the fire department first. Like,
to give them a
hey,
heads
guys,
up.
Just letting you know we're burning something out here on blah, 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 blah. So I guess it's probably like that. Somebody looks outside. The world is on fire. They call 911.
He had poured half a gallon of gasoline on like a gravel section of his backyard, and he thought that would light on fire and that'd be good. And then I guess good on the neighbor for paying attention. They smelled something burning, so that's when they called the fire department, who came over and said, hey, that's not really what we're doing today.
Well, I get it, but if you've ever dealt with, let's just say, flammables, half a gallon of gas doesn't sound like very much. You're just like, it's not very much. Dude, that that is something. Like it's more
That's
than
enough?
you think.
Is that an impact? That's an impact on the ground.
It's more than you think it is.
I saw someone use.
Take my word for it.
Justin just texted like he wishes he has a snow thrower, which is great. But then I've seen people to get it off your car. What is it when you mow your grass? A leaf blower. Like you can use a.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Like, does that work on your driveway too? If you want to get rid of snow, or are we just looking at fire at this point?
Well, I think it really just depends on whether you have a
ice with it.
Like if it's ice, I mean, the right kind of snow, you could absolutely blow that right down your driveway. But the kind of snow that I've been dealing with, no, that's not going to do it.
It's more compacted, so it's not like it would do much. But I don't know, Justin. Obi, I think, has a snow thrower and it's not working still. So.
Yeah, I was going to say, Justin, if it makes you feel any better, I've got about 6 hours of repair work into my snow thrower. It still doesn't work. I got a
It's going to work when summer hits.
Yep. I got a notification today that my snowblower's carburetor, the delivery's been pushed back a couple days. So it will... We're supposed to be in the mid to upper 40s next week. That's when it's coming.
Perfect. That's exactly what happens.
Just what I needed.
If not, don't say anything, and you can offer to sell yours to Justin. He won't even know.
Right. Yeah, and it's got a new carburetor.
Oh, it's brand new, hardly used.
Engine's been rebuilt.
What's worse than the worst of the riot? The worst of the riot podcast. Yeah. You did this to yourself. Podcast. Riot. RadioU.
So, Nikki, how long do you expect to live?
I'd rather not worry about it too much, but I would like to live as long as possible. So that's a thing. But I don't want to do like one of those, death chart things where you're like, find out when you're going to die. I don't want to do that. I don't want to know.
You're not interested?
I'm not interested. But hopefully very, very long. I have a long, long life ahead, as do we all.
They say that on your deathbed, you're not going to be thinking about blank, blank, and blank. I imagine me on my deathbed like, I should have got to the gym more.
Is that what you're going to be thinking about?
I can see that being a genuine thought as you're laying there like, oh, I could be in my regular bed if only I'd spent a little more time in the gym now. Maybe. Maybe not, though. Who knows? But I do know this. Whatever you're expecting to live, go ahead and take a year off of it. Just so if you're like, I'll make it to 80, nope, 79.
They're saying that you can expect to live a 1 year less after this year.
Yeah, the CDC, that's the Center for Disease Control's great people, fantastic parties.
They really seem to put out the best of news, don't they?
I was going to say, they're not where you go for like positive, uplifting things, but they do like to spread the facts, and they say that life expectancy has fallen on average about a year this year. So, if you're like, hey, I'm going to be 85, 84. So you just take one off. And the other thing is, remember, it's an average. So you go ahead and take one off of what you're expecting, and then when you hit 86, you're like, you suck, CDC.
I made it. That's what drove you to live an extra year, just the fact that they were telling you couldn't. You remember all those years later.
So they do say, men, the average life expectancy in the United States has fallen to 75.1 years, and for ladies, they're saying 80.5 years.
Oh, yeah.
So you know what 21 Hey man, you know what 21 Pilots says? Death is chasing me like a dog chases a rabbit, or inspires me like a dog. Anyway, just get out there and work it. All right? Like, don't waste another day.
And
listen to that 21 Pilots song so you can get the lyrics right.
There you go. While you're doing that, so you can live your best life as long as possible.
Death inspires me like a dog inspires a rabbit. Man, it's like they're on the show. They're right here.
Did such a wonderful job.
How to survive the riot. Do the complete opposite of everything they say. You're listening to The Riot on RadioU.
Did you pay attention to the Nintendo Direct yesterday?
I saw some of it. I watched a bit of the video, and then I saw everybody talking about the golf thing and Zelda and some controllers. So I don't know. That was basically most of it.
In reality, even though you don't have the details, you pretty much got it.
Was that the main stuff?
Yeah, I mean, everybody went into that yesterday expecting them to announce and show a trailer for. They've already announced it. Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild 2. They did not do that, and they were like, "Yeah, we're going to have details on that for you later this year." What they announced instead is Legend of Zelda: Skyward Sword HD coming to the Switch in July. So this is just another older Zelda game that's getting a re-release on the Switch. And I mean, it really does come down to they want you to buy this one, and after you've bought this one, then they'll tell you about the other one.
If everyone could buy all the old Nintendo stuff, and then they'll give us some new stuff. Again, yeah. Then that would make them happy enough to release some new things finally. But yeah, you do have to wait, and it makes me feel like that's a much later this year thing for anything new Zelda-related.
They also announced Splatoon 3 coming to the Switch, and that's going to be, is it next year? So that's not anytime soon.
That's good.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's something. And then for me, the exciting thing was Mario Golf Super Rush, which they unveiled. And I am an old school Mario Golf fan. I had a Mario Golf game for my Nintendo 64, I think, and loved it. The only thing I'll say is I think everybody's golf has kind of spoiled me because I play a round of everybody's golf on my PlayStation almost every day. And when I looked at Mario Golf, I was like, I guess it looks okay.
I bet once you got back into playing that, you'd have a ton of fun.
Yeah. They showed a new mode that was like the speed golf mode for multiplayer. That looks crazy fun. So the other thing they unveiled yesterday, Nikki, and
for
this
Mario Golf, though, did they say, is it this year or is that also next year?
June of this year.
June of this year. Okay.
Yeah. And then the thing that is for you, Nikki, is that coming next week to Animal Crossing, there is a Mario-themed update.
Guess who's moving to the island? I got some friends moving in. Yes, Mario and Animal Crossing. That's a good partnership right there. That's a good idea.
So it looks like you can let your villagers or maybe even your character cosplay as Mario and Luigi and Peach, and plus all kinds of just Mario stuff that you can put on your island. So, Nikki, that just gives you enough time to start getting serious about your island, okay?
I only play now like maybe once or twice every couple of weeks. Like I've gotten really bad at it. So I feel like before the Mario update comes, I got to go clean up my island again and get my act together so that we can be ready to usher in all the Mario stuff there. So I'll be ready.
Well, you know what? Hey, you're preaching to the choir here, to yourself. All right, you're preaching to the woman in the mirror.
I understand.
Get yourself ready.
What I need to
Mario's
do.
coming, and get focused. You know what? If you need to go home right now, it's fine. Just go. I'll handle this. You go get ready.
I have got 1 week. It comes next Thursday, and that's when the items will come to Animal Crossing, and I'll be ready. I'll be ready to be my character will definitely be Princess Peach. We're definitely doing that.
I'll tell you what, there's a nervous energy in the room. I'm so excited.
I should have brought
my
Switch. I should have gotten ready. I could be using this time, but
you got to start putting that in your purse, Nikki. Come on.
We'll get it all cleaned up and ready to go for next Thursday. So I'm sure we'll talk about it once it actually gets released.
Riot Podcast, RadioU.
You know, real life is playing out just like a super lame comic book when you think about it. You know, how many times does Joker, Penguin, pick a villain, tried to defeat Batman, the Court of the Owls? You know, they always have like a thing going, and Batman's always able to outsmart them. But it turns out all it took was the sniffles to really knock out the Batman.
So the Batman, which is it supposed to be out this fall? Is that this year or is it next year?
No, it's not. It's not supposed to be out till next year. Yeah.
Well, remember last year it had this amazing trailer to where, in my mind, the Batman's already finished filming. Like it looked complete to me, but it's not anywhere close to being done for its release. Yes, next year, but it seems to be having enough trouble staying open as a movie being actively filmed.
Well, Nikki, from what I could tell, I think that the trailer of the Batman that you saw last year was all of the footage they've shot.
It must have been everything because they've been filming for a long time. But yeah, I guess they still have more to film. They're still filming.
Yeah. So,
well, not now, they're not.
No, they're not. They're taking a little break because Robert Pattinson's stunt double has tested positive for COVID-19. So now, last time around, did he actually have it?
Yeah, he's had it. That was last fall. But, I mean, maybe enough time has probably passed. He would have to be just as careful now. So it's been a while. So they have to have him isolate for 10 days. This is the third time that this movie production has been impacted by coronavirus, with someone testing positive and having to delay the filming.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. I know a lot of people were not super excited about Robert Pattinson being the Batman. But after watching Tenet, man, I thought he was great in Tenet. I think he's going to be a great Batman. I'm, of course, excited about... Listen, you tell me you got a Batman thing, I'm in.
Doesn't matter who it is, but as long as they're doing something, it looks really good. So this is, let's see, Robert Pattinson had it in September, and then another stunt double had it in November, and then now this stunt double has it now. So, yeah, the third time they've had to pause on the filming for the Batman.
The only way I'm going to be not interested in the Batman is if right before it releases, they're like, okay, it's actually set in the Batman universe, but it's not about Batman. Then I'm out.
I think you're going to like it. Again, based off the trailer from last year, it looks like it's going to be perfect for you.
Yeah, it does really look like a great movie. So they're working on that. In the meantime, I've heard triple masking is the way to go. So Batman has a mask, then another mask, then another one. So shouldn't be.
I don't know, though. They keep getting shut down. They might have to try something else. It's not working.
I don't think Batman's wearing his mask correctly.
You're basically listening to a real-time cringe compilation. This is The Riot on Radio U.
Today for breakfast, I had a microwave chicken sandwich from Jimmy Dean.
But
it was good.
Like a breakfast chicken sandwich or just chicken sandwich?
Well, it's like breakfast. 'Cause all of a sudden, if you put it on a biscuit, it's breakfast.
And if you eat it at breakfast time, it counts. I didn't know if they had
But if
like
you put
chicken...
it on a bun, it's clearly lunch.
I didn't know if they had like chicken biscuit breakfast sandwiches in the list of Jimmy Dean things.
Oh, you know what? I'm getting it wrong, Nikki. It was Tennessee Pride.
What, is that different than Jimmy Dean?
Yeah, it's a different brand. So I had here it is. Man, I'm on their website. I could probably get a T-shirt. They've got these little biscuits that you can put in, and they're in a 2-pack.
Yeah.
And so you just throw them in the microwave 50 seconds, and you have undoubtedly something that's terrible for you. But wow, they're good.
Is it kind of
really
like
good.
the Chick-fil-A chicken mini biscuit sort of things that they have?
Yes, but let's see. If the chicken mini's a 10, let's make these a 4. I mean, you know.
Let's be realistic about it. All right. So, and you said Tennessee Pride. Is that what the company is?
Yeah, I just sent you a link to them. Chicken buttermilk biscuits.
Oh, that'll do.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, all right. They look good. Sausage, buttermilk biscuits, sausage, a croissant sort of, sausage and cheddar biscuits. These sausage and honey. These look good.
You know, I'm really into the frozen foods now. I picked up in addition to these, listen, man, oh my gosh, follow me for recipes. I did these, but then I also picked up the DiGiorno croissant crust pizza.
Have you had that yet, or are you still waiting to try it?
No. Man, I'll tell you, Nikki, I'm saving that for the weekend.
That's a weekend. They get a nice movie. Oh, no, wait. What's the one thing that's out this weekend that you want to watch? The space one on Apple TV?
Oh, yeah, For All Mankind.
You can watch For All Mankind while you're having the croissant pizza.
Just like the astronauts eat.
Yeah, in honor of them. That's funny. You're getting into frozen food. You're like, well, this is an option. Yeah, those are good. There's a Nashville hot one. Those are good.
I'll tell you, Nikki, there's this half of the country, not a whole lot going on right now. So,
might as well stay in. Stay in and have this.
The freezer food is, it's great. You can set it just right outside on your porch. You don't even need a freezer. And you just throw it in the microwave or the oven, and in 20 minutes, it's like DoorDash happened. But it's even faster.
It's like it was just like contactless delivery, and you just leave it out there, and then you go out and you act surprised that someone brought you food, even though you put it out there a long time ago, and then you can make your
Nobody
frozen
has to know
pizza.
that.
No one has to know. It's just the feeling of it.
Yeah, it's the excitement. I think we had a delivery.
Oh, it's not delivery. It's DiGiorno.
It's DiGiorno.
It's wonderful. Well, let us know how the croissant pizza crust is, okay?
Doesn't that sound good, though?
It does, yeah. Does sound good.
I'm sure it probably is probably a 4, on a 10 scale.
Sometimes you're surprised. Sometimes frozen pizza can actually be pretty good. You just have to make sure that you bake it enough. That tends to be my problem. I'll not bake it enough, and it just doesn't, it needs a couple more minutes to kind of come together.
Okay, I'm writing that down. Bake enough.
Just make sure you're baking it a few more minutes than maybe you think, and it's always better the second time when you reheat it. So reheat it in the air fryer.
Don't be impatient. Wait for it.
Wait for it to be done, and you'll like it better.
Obadiah and Nikki tried their hardest, and that's what really matters. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
So, since we were talking about my frozen food and the amazing weekend I'm obviously laying out for myself here, it might be worth it to take a look at what is going to be new on streaming this week. Now, Nikki, for me, the big one you mentioned, For All Mankind, that hits Apple TV Plus tomorrow.
That's a second season on that series.
I enjoyed that show so much.
Do you still have Apple TV, though, or are you done with your free year?
No, Nikki. Everyone has Apple TV.
You just keeping it.
Well, to be clear, I still haven't paid for it. This iPad I have in my hand is in reality the reason I still have Apple TV. But the way I see it, this iPad's paying for itself.
So you don't have to pay for that.
Well, no, they announced that they did it twice. They've extended it. So now I have free Apple TV Plus until July.
Okay.
I think.
Well, that's good. You don't have to pay for the show this weekend then.
No. And it was the second season of For All Mankind was going to be the reason that I still had Apple TV, but nope, won't need to. They're taking care of that for me. Thank you. Thank you very much. The other thing to know this weekend, did you see that there's a new Bear Grylls show?
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be on Netflix.
I saw it in my queue because I was looking at it last night, but I haven't watched anything yet because his name's Bear. I like bears. I have to at least try the show. I actually think he's a pretty good host, and I like some of his stuff, so I was going to watch some of that.
Well, and the other thing about it is that it's supposed to be a Netflix... I mean, unless I'm totally understanding this, like one of their choose your own adventure kind of shows.
It's an interactive show, sure.
Right. So you'll get to make some choices that will affect the outcome. I hope he lives. I don't know if I'm the person you want making those choices.
I know, but going into it, that didn't really entice me. It's like some of those games where you play where you're like, well, here's one or two things you can do, and you just know there's not that many options. But yeah, it's worth at least trying and watching for the Bear Grylls stuff.
Right. The other thing, and I mean, I know very little about it, is that yesterday on Netflix, Amend, The Fight for America started. And the reason that caught my attention is that friend of the show, one formerly known as Play-Doh, Crumb, he is actually, some of his music is featured in that show.
Oh, that's good. Hey, way to go, Crumb. So I bet he's excited.
He actually said, he's like, hey, I think I get paid by this. I follow him on Twitter.
Yeah.
He was like, I think I get paid by the stream, so at least do one episode.
He should tell everybody which episode is his music in case you don't want to watch all of it.
For real.
It's like,
right?
let us know what time is it at so we can all stream and support him. Crumb, who also used to be known as Play-Doh. He's a favorite of ours.
Oh, I just love that guy. I love the guy. I love the music. I'm still a fan. I'm still out here.
And he always needs the support, so that's one to remember.
Yeah.
The Riot with Obadiah and Nikki on RadioU.
Nikki, could you please share with the rest of the class what it is that you brought today?
So Eric drinks a lot of Bang energy drinks, and
He's a good man.
He's a good man, and he told me that for Bang, it takes a couple of weeks. Like, you really got to work hard at drinking those until you get used to them.
It takes a couple of weeks
to kind of pass through. Like, for energy drinks, they all have a taste to them, and I normally don't like the taste. And he said you sometimes got to push through and just, really. Then you become less likely to notice, like, the energy taste in it and just really grab onto the flavor. And he likes a lot of the Bang flavors. But when I was ordering some from him, I saw that they have like these protein coffee drinks from Bang. So I got a hazelnut and a cookies and cream one to try because I thought, well, I like cookies and cream. I like protein. Maybe I'll like these. And so I brought one to work to try the hazelnut one, and it is something. It is.
I want you to know, Nikki, that when I started taking Prozac, you know what they told me?
What?
It takes a couple weeks.
to get
you just have
to get used to it. That's what everybody literally tells me about everything. They're like, just a couple of weeks, and then your body will get used to it, and then you can drink it without noticing like the aftertaste or like that bitterness from the energy stuff. But for this, it's got like 2 cups of caffeine, 20 grams of protein, and I don't know what else.
There's protein in it?
Yes, it's got 20 grams of protein. It's a protein coffee drink.
Okay, now at this point, they just have everything in it. They're like, it's Bang's all new everything.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to try it, because I'll sometimes drink like there's these Premier protein drinks, but it doesn't have caffeine in it. But I'll sometimes drink that, and I thought, well, why don't we just, like put it together with coffee and see how it does. These have a taste, though. I don't know if I could drink them. I definitely can't drink the whole thing.
I just still am stuck on I'm trying this, it's whatever. But they say it just takes a couple of weeks. Yeah. Listen, I give most drinks a couple of sips. I don't give it a couple of weeks.
Well, no, you're supposed to get used to it at that point. But Trevor texted, he said Bang's basically a pre-workout, and you're pretty much right at some of those drinks. But it's just so. It also worries me because they have a lot of warnings on the back of their cans, like a lot of warnings. And then the whole like 18 and older thing, you're like, why? What's so bad? But it's a lot of caffeine in it.
Okay, well, tell me this much then. What, are you just doing coffee? Because I see here there's like cookies and cream coffee.
I got the cookies and cream and the hazelnut one, the heavenly hazelnut.
Oh.
And I only got them because I like cookies and cream and I like hazelnut. So I thought they would probably taste pretty good.
So try our all-new Bang cookies and cream coffee protein energy drink.
Yep, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing.
What? Oh, my gosh.
So if I crash so hard that I wake up and it's later next week, it's from that. I don't know if I can do all that.
Do you remember? Okay, not everybody was with us, but we were talking earlier about how the CDC said that because of everything that's going on, life expectancy in the United States has dropped a year.
Yeah.
I just want you to know it's now down 2 years.
You think it's more? Don't you think this is adding? I'm sure Bang says that they're adding like vitamins and minerals and stuff to it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm saying all this over my Diet Mountain Dew, so there's not exactly a whole lot of room to talk.
You don't have
There's
any
no protein in that.
Mm-hmm.
So you're actually way, way ahead of me. Oh, my gosh. Andy says, be afraid she's bulking up. She's going to get...
It's just a little protein, says everyone at the beginning of the protein journey before it starts to get bad. I just was interested in the flavor and I wanted to try it. And Eric always has Bangs and I wanted to try one too, but I don't like them. They're too much.
All right. Well, you need to set one aside for me. I want to try it.
Oh yeah. I have 2 extras at home, so I'll bring it in.
They have Bang chocolate peanut butter blast.
Yeah.
Boy, they got everything.
Using advanced technology, we've digitized and transcoded Obadiah and Nikki into a purely digital format. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Winston Churchill is a very divisive historical figure. I saw that somebody was doing a seminar last week on I don't know, his racism and his thisism and that-ism. And he, just to be clear, he was divisive at the time.
Oh, he was? I always thought it was after.
Yeah.
But I thought everybody hated him until after, and then they were like, well, wait a minute, but I can never tell.
No, that's kind of where it was. Like, basically the Allies win World War II, and it's like a whole big thing. But like he was a very divisive guy for a long time. People thought he was a warmonger, et cetera, et cetera. Well, I'll tell you what else he was. He was a fabulous dresser, or so
Or
it
was
appears,
he?
Nikki.
Was he a snappy dresser?
Well, I'll tell you this right now. He's well known for wearing house slippers, and you can now bid on his house slippers. The Winston Churchill house slippers.
Looks like they're monogrammed. They're velvet slippers, and they're the blue velvet ones from the 1950s. Interesting.
You can also go ahead and bid on his brandy glass.
Boy, they're selling everything, aren't they? All
He
of
was,
the stuff.
I didn't finish it. This is so weird, but I read like half of a biography of Churchill. He was what they would call a heavy drinker.
Oh, really?
He was somebody that liked to hit the bottle, as it were. But yeah, these things are on sale. Now, when I saw this, I was like, who the heck would want this? But that's when it hit me. Nikki, you and I could not probably make $20,000 off of our slippers.
Sure.
But I recently purchased a new pair of shoes, which means I have an old pair of shoes just laying around.
Your old ones, your old tennis shoes that you've had for like 3 years.
Yeah, 3.5. And so my question to you is this. Mm-hmm. How much do you think I could make? Now, keep in mind that this is potentially our future, selling off our stuff on eBay. How much do you think I could pull in from a pair of these slippers?
I don't think it's through eBay. I think if we had enough stuff that you could get to an auction house, that gets you, I think, more money out of it.
Okay, all right.
I don't think we have enough items, and what we do have, I don't even know if
I have a lot of items. Don't worry. Don't worry.
I don't even know if what we do have would be like, do you at least make more than you paid for it in the first place? Because I don't even know if you'd get that. I'm not sure.
Well, Nikki, can we get real for a second? You're not buying Churchill's slippers to wear them.
But let me tell you, as I'm looking at his slippers, they're in better condition than the tennis shoes you had from 3.5 years. And these things don't even look like slippers. They look like fancy shoes we'd be wearing if we had to wear something nice. It looks more like that. They're more than, to me, what I would have thought slippers would look like.
Well, Nikki, when you're wealthy enough, what you and I consider to be consider to be treasured, they're just like, oh, these things.
It's like these are house shoes to me, not just slippers. So they're very impressive, and they say they've actually held up. They are just a little worn in the heel, but outside of that, they're in really good condition.
Well, let me tell you about these Adidas Hamburg shoes that I've been hanging on to.
Well, why don't you pop them up and see if they make any money? See if anybody
Just see
wants...
if they go anywhere.
Yeah,
I don't know if you remember,
tell.
but we sold my sandals once.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
we got enough money out of that to buy breakfast. So
when we do our spring fundraiser, will it be enough that we don't have to have one? I don't think we're going to be making that sort of money. It's not going to fund RadioU for any amount of time. They're going to sell the slippers and the other items, and that's going to be on March 9th. And it seems like this is the second time that they've had some auction items from Churchill, and he passed away in 1965.
Yeah, I want that brandy glass. I want to drink Diet Mountain Dew out of Winston Churchill's brandy glass.
I think people would be offended that you're not supposed to use it. You're just supposed to let it sit on a shelf somewhere.
Well, maybe just one time.
Yeah.
I wonder if is it dishwasher safe?
That I don't think so. I think you have to hand wash that while you're wearing the house slippers from him that you're really supposed to buy along with the brandy glass.
So it's the Winston Churchill domestic package.
Yes.
Giving every novelty food the publicity it so blatantly desires. It's The Riot on Radio U.
How about a little honesty here, shall we? Nikki and I hold back so much.
Are you going to hold back more, or are we going to be more honest?
No, let's just put it out there. It's winter. It's a tough time. I've been talking about how I'm not immune to it. I've been having a tough time too. And I mean mentally and emotionally. You throw in the pandemic, you don't get to see your friends maybe the way that you used to. In some cases, you really want to go to school, but you don't get to go to school. You'd really like to get out and go to work, but you can't do that. You're locked in. And so man, it's amazing. We're locked in with ourselves, right? And so what do we start to notice? We start to maybe find a couple things about us that aren't so great. And hey, I'm 100% guilty of having done this and also being tempted by it. You just start looking around for something to, help you get by. Numb yourself a little bit so it's not so bad. Now, not everything's bad. You sit down and there are some things you can do like, all right, get some exercise. Not anyone's first choice. Nobody picks that first,
but
right?
A healthy choice if we're looking at all of them.
But there's a temptation to make poor choices. And like I've said, I've made those choices and I'm still tempted to make those choices. But I'll tell you this. There's the problem with doing those things, and I'm not going to name anything because for you it could be different than it is for me, but you know what I'm talking about. I don't have to say what it is, and you always know that the next day you've got some guilt to deal with, or you're hungover, you're whatever. Like there are things that you have to deal with as a result, and I'm just here to tell you that there is another way to do this. You can ask God for help in the middle of this. And sometimes I actually have to ask God. I will literally be talking to Jesus and be like, Jesus, could you help me make the right decision? Because I have no interest in making the right decision. Like, I don't even want to. I don't even care. I just want to do what I want. I don't care. You're like, well, Obadiah, you can't talk to God that way. You can talk to God about anything. And there are times when I even have to ask God to help me want to do the right thing because I don't even want to. So wherever you are today, I want you to know if you're stuck at home by yourself or you're in some situation you don't like, you are not alone. God is with you, and he is literally just like, he's right there. A lot of times I will physically reach out my hand and just be like, God, I really need your help right now. And that is, you can do that. It doesn't take anything fancier than that. And if you don't have a relationship with God, it's like, how is that possible? Man, just start by saying, Jesus, you're here. I want you in my life. I want you to fill me with your spirit. I need some help. Show me how to live. And hey, it's a tough time right now, but God can show us what to do in the middle of our tough times.
This is the worst of the riot on Radio U.
The right lane, 270 north at Morse Road on the east side, 160 west at New Albany Road. I can't even get to the whole list. Be careful.
At this point, they could really do the show in their sleep. And honestly, it would probably sound better that way. The Riot. Radio U.
It is The Riot on Radio U, 877-2-RADIO-U. The great thing is that that's not what I was
Is that not how you want to tie it in?
Do you ever start something? Well, the thing is, I probably could have put in a little more work and brought that around. But
that's okay.
I just think that's a crappy. Can we start over? It's The Riot on Radio U.
Well, hi, Obi.
Text or call 877-2-RADIO-U. My good friend Nikki is always in the studio, but is often out and about with the regular people.
Actually, this is kind of interesting. Yesterday, I was downtown and I needed to pay for a parking meter. And normally they want you to use a parking meter app. Some of them you can still feed coins, but then not everybody carries coins with them. So it depends on if you use a lot of public transportation. But this is actually something that they've been testing in different cities, and it's not going to be everywhere. So your city has to be big enough. But Google Maps is now going to let you pay for parking meters if you ride the subway, if you take a train, if you take public transportation. Google Maps will be working with 2 different companies on Android first. It'll come to iOS later. But at this point on Android app, you can pay directly in Google Maps when you're getting your directions and stuff. You can pay for all that stuff within the app now, which is super cool.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I like the idea of that, except for like one thing. If you make it too easy, I might suddenly forget that it's absurd to pay $30 to park in downtown.
I know they'll make it like you won't realize it'll be so easy. So if you use Passport or Park Mobile, those two apps are going to be working within Google Maps. So say you want to park at a parking meter, you have your directions pulled up to get you to where you were going. You're parked there. You're at a park meter. You would then input your license plate or the number for the parking meter. You could then put how long you want to buy time for, and then that'll go through Google Pay or whatever pay system you have set up. And then that way you pay for the time, and then say you need more time, instead of going back to the meter, you just open up Google Maps and you can add more time to your stay.
That is kind of cool.
Yeah, just one thing easier.
So will you sign up for this?
It depends on which area you're at. It's not at iOS yet.
It's not everywhere.
I could be interested. There's one place I go downtown more frequently, and when you pay sometimes with our city's pay app, it doesn't count right away sometimes, and they'll sometimes ticket you, and you'll still get the ticket, and good luck fighting it. So even though you paid to park and you had enough time, you can sometimes still get a ticket or towed. So if this runs more seamlessly than that, then that actually could be a good thing.
Everything you just said makes me want to wait a little bit until they have a chance to iron this out.
Well, it's not Google Maps' problem. Like, it's not theirs. That's the official app that, again, our downtown uses. But, someone was telling me how they got completely towed, and they had already paid, but they weren't near it, so they couldn't see that it hadn't counted yet, and their car got towed.
Yikes, man. That towed is the worst. The worst.
Yeah, because when you get out, you're like, is it towed or is it stolen? Might as well be the same thing. It's been taken.
It's being held for ransom, exactly. I can tell you that.
So again, this Google Maps part for public transportation. So if you wanted to take a subway or a bus, they would have a digital reader where you would normally get tickets or buy it, and then you would just use your phone and buy it that way through Google Pay, and you're set. It's not everywhere, but if you use Passport, Park Mobile, you have Google Maps, and you have an Android app right now, you can check and see if it's available in your area.
Awesome. So that means about two of us will probably be able to.
Yeah, San Francisco. You've got New York.
You know what?
That's about it.
You got to start somewhere.
That's right. It might not be in your area yet, but they're moving it to more and moving it to iOS later.
Where do you go when you need someone to listen to your problems and give you a big hug? Not here. Obviously. This is The Riot on RadioU.
Man, I have got something somewhere on this computer that is throwing audio to my headphones.
Oh, you do? Oh, he's at home doing the show, and so he's got his computer there, and it's sending audio outside of us.
I think it might be okay.
Is
so I told you guys a couple.
Or something?
No, I told you guys a couple days ago that I started using this program called Wallpaper Engine, which is, I actually think it's fantastic. I've really enjoyed it.
I think it's a virus, but.
Well, okay, you know what? After we talked about it, and I asked around, just like, hey, like, for real, am I doing something terrible? But my friend Brandon, who is so smart.
He says it's not. Oh, we got to believe Brandon. Yeah. But it's basically, it's movable, like it's, his wallpaper moves, and, that's great and all, but that's, that'll use your system up pretty quickly.
Well, Nikki, I've built quite a computer over here.
It can handle it.
I've got some resources to spare. I have had Wallpaper Engine cause a couple of games to crash. I can tell you that the Division 2 hates Wallpaper Engine. But I've just figured it out. Some of the wallpaper has audio attached to it. So it was playing music.
So that's
to
what
match
you're
the wallpaper.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought of that. I thought just moving, but it has music too.
The other thing that it does is that it will, if you let it, and this is when I really feel like I've installed spyware, it will listen to your computer's audio, and some of the backgrounds will change based on, like, if you're listening to music or whatever, it will change. I mean, I know, right?
But it's not a problem.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. It's fine, because, again, Brandon said it was okay.
Hey, don't you badmouth Brandon.
But you know what I mean, right? If it sounds like spyware, it looks like spyware, it acts like it is. It must be.
Okay, listen, it's not just Brandon, okay? I bought it on Steam, so doesn't that?
Nope,
no,
not at all. I still don't believe you.
You don't think so?
Nope. But let's just say this now so that we can all be a part of the conversation. If Obi's machine starts getting sluggish, slowing down more, and we're starting to see more issues with it, I want us to all go back to this moment and just say that it might be the movable wallpaper. It just might be that.
All right, I'll write it down. February 18th, 21. It might be the wallpaper.
It might be the wallpaper thing that you downloaded, but we'll just leave it at that. And until then, enjoy it till it destroys everything.
That's a bummer. It is really nice.
And what happens with everything that's really nice?
Yeah, that's true. Come on. Nikki knows what she's talking about.
I'll just leave that out there for you.
All right. Well, thanks, Nikki.
This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
We were talking about my wallpaper engine, and, Nikki, I'm not the only person using it.
You've got a couple of listeners who are using it also, but I still think it's a virus.
Check it out. Brandon, who got me started, Nathan, and Kyle. That's 3 people, Nikki.
3 people using this wallpaper thing, and they say it's fine for your computer, right? They haven't had any issues?
Yeah, it's weird. Kyle is texting from China, but I don't know what that's about.
He's not. Just in case I'm like, that's great. I'm just worried about, I'm just worried about you, and I'm worried about your machine. You put a lot of time and effort into your computer, and I stand by anything fun and fancy. At least it wasn't free. If it was absolutely free, then we wouldn't even be questioning this. But I'm just making sure that everything you're downloading on that is clean and it won't hurt it.
Well, first off, I'm only downloading clean wallpapers. Let's be clear.
Only the best.
Okay, 1. And then 2, the only thing that makes me nervous about what you just said, I did buy it on sale.
When that's the reason you wonder why was it on sale. Are you saying it was like 99 cents, or how much did you pay for it?
It was $3.99.
$3.99. I don't know.
You know what, Nikki? I got that new monitor. I don't even think we talk about it on the show, but I did. I got a new monitor. I was like, I need something to spruce it up.
Yeah, this leads all.
This is how.
That's
this
how
is
it
how it
always happens. It is.
It is.
And I feel like
your
it's
mom's
also,
like,
okay,
I'm texting now. I needed these new emojis.
Now, listen, I didn't want to say this, but that's exactly it too. It felt like something, your parents would put on their monitor to like keep them busy. So I know it's just because you got a really nice looking one and it's fun. And you got into watching at Christmas time on your TV. You would put the Yule log and stuff, or like.
Yes,
watching like
true.
videos of the beach or something. So you really got into, watching things to kind of change the feeling in the room. So I could see you liking this.
Yeah, here, Nikki, what do you see in the background? Right? Nope, wrong way. What do you see back there?
Well, I see your Christmas tree still up. Is that what I'm looking at?
Yeah, it is. That's in the basement, but what's next to it?
I can't. It's all blown out. I can't see it.
Oh, you can't see it?
No.
Yeah, it's blown out because it's a beach somewhere south.
On his TV where he's working at today.
I've got a 65-inch digital window to the beach.
Mm-hmm,
and okay, you can rat me out. My Christmas tree's still up. It's not the main one. It's the downstairs one, and I'm lazy. I like the lights.
I was watching a TikTok yesterday, and in Texas, everything kind of froze over in people's houses, and then yesterday started to be all these horrible videos of pipes bursting and like water gushing through people's homes. I mean, tragic and terrible. And this one I was watching. You look at the comment section and people are being so mean to Texas right now. Like they're just being so nasty.
It's true.
But in the house where it was flooding, someone had their Christmas tree still up. And so in the comment section, everybody was like, your home is being destroyed. But they kept saying, but why is your Christmas tree still up? Well, it's being flooded in the whole place. And it's like, well, now you won't even be able to keep your Christmas tree. It was that bad. But you're not the only one who still has it up. At least yours is safe, though.
We're getting super judgy.
Yes, everybody does.
The Riot, not everyone's fan.
I wonder whose idea this was.
RadioU.
So, Nikki, what is this new Kickstarter-ish?
Thing
It's
on
not
Amazon?
Kickstarter, but it's like Kickstarter on
is.
Amazon.
I haven't done a Kickstarter in years, but I kind of wish it went this way. And I was looking at this cuckoo clock yesterday, and then I was reading the rest of the details this morning. But Amazon is trying a Kickstarter-like thing to make concepts into a reality. So they'll be doing this more often, but this is the first 3 items. So these 3 items are a smart cuckoo clock, a smart nutrition scale, and a smart sticky note printer on Amazon. So what you do is, if you're interested in buying into the product, like buying an item like you would have with Kickstarter, they'll share the concept and the details with you. For a limited time only, it has until March 19th. If it meets its goal, then the item will be made. You do not pay for the item until it's finished and mailed to you. And you can cancel at any time. So all the problems we had with Kickstarter and not getting your money back or the product never, ever being made, that kind of gets rid of this stuff. And they have the 3 items up, and they look interesting. I actually am kind of impressed at the setup with this, because you're not getting charged. You don't have to deal with all that stuff, but you can try to get one of these new items.
It's a really great idea because, as you said, it takes away some of the stigma of doing a Kickstarter because you don't know if you're going to get the item. I've only Kickstarted 3 things, and I got all 3 of them.
Well, I Kickstarted 2 things, and I never got anything. So,
really?
Oh, yeah. It was a waste. Just a waste.
They're everywhere now, but at the time, I Kickstarted a tablet holder, and I still use that thing all the time. That was a fantastic thing. I mean, it was more. I think I paid $30 for it then. Now things like that are $2. Well, but at the time, it was revolutionary.
I was looking at the smart cuckoo clock. So basically, it's a cuckoo clock, but modernized.
It's not wrong.
Modernized to where you can talk to it and stuff and set time, so it can be like your alarm. And it looks really nice. I love the design of it. But the problem is, with all 3 of these items, they only work with Alexa. And I use Google Home, so I can't actually use any of the smart features for any of these. But the cuckoo clock looks nice. The nutrition scale looks nice. Like, it's just a scale to weigh your food. But what really looks cool is there's this sticky note printer that uses no ink. It is thermal printing. And so all you do is put in the paper, which they said you get 1 roll of paper. And if it
wonder
does,
how much those will cost.
I know, but they said if it does get made, then you can buy refills, and they'll offer different colors at that point. But basically, you talk to it. You say, "Hey, make a list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5." It prints it out, and it's on a sticky note. I like that one too, but it's Alexa, so.
Well, but Nikki, you could still use it because Alexa's going to be built into the device, I assume.
I think, no, you have to have
a separate Alexa device.
You do, and it's not compatible with Echo 1st Gen, Echo Dot 1st Gen, Echo Plus 1st Gen, and Amazon Tap. So it doesn't work with a lot of the 1st generation items.
Okay. Well, that's too bad. I live in a world I use a lot of sticky notes. Google Note was my go-to for a long time. Mm-hmm. And this year I converted over to I use a planner now, but the planner is really just, there's a day and then there's just a bunch of lines under it, so I can write whatever I want in there.
You can
so
put
I'm basically
all these sticky notes.
Yeah, I'm basically carrying my sticky notes around. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I am not very good at organizing, but something I do better with is if I can just have a blank sheet that I have to carry around with me and make a list on it.
Well,
so
if you would have liked this, it would have been $90, and it's 56% of pre-orders goal met, and it started yesterday. So I'm assuming all of these will get built.
Dude, I want to put one of these in the car so that I can just tell it.
Just tell it. It requires a certain type of Wi-Fi. You get 1 yellow sticky paper roll, and that's it.
This was the worst of the riot, and we'd like to congratulate you on having the stomach to stick around to the very end. The riot exists because RadioU exists, and RadioU only exists because of your support. Find out more and give now at RadioU.com/donate.
Mom, you're unbalancing my chi!